So now that we understand the parameter goes with the population and the statistic goes with our sample, we can go ahead and dissect the idea of a statistic a little bit more. We're going to be looking at the difference between an inferential statistic and a descriptive statistic here. We're dealing with the same example, as you can see on the right, and I have a little sentence written at the top left. So I'll give you a second to go ahead and read that. Now, the important part here is to differentiate between when we're talking about the people who were actually asked, that is when we're talking about the sample, and when we're trying to make an estimate about the actual population. And this is going to be the main dividing thing between an inferential and a descriptive statistic. So a descriptive statistic describes the sample. That is, it's going to describe the way that the people we actually asked felt. What percentage of them felt a certain way, what was the average age of them. It's going to actually describe that example. Now, this is different from an inferential statistic. An inferential statistic makes an inference. Or an estimate about a population or future samples. So descriptive actually describes what happened. Inferential makes an inference or an estimate about what's going to happen. Now, in a lot of cases, we won't have both an inferential and a descriptive. The example here, we actually do. So looking back up here, we can see that we have 61% of the people asked felt the government does not do enough to help the middle class. This is what we call a descriptive statistic. And it's descriptive because it describes what percent of the sample felt this way. So descriptive, once again, describes what the sample felt. And we can tell it's descriptive because it says 61% of the people asked, or 61% of the sample. Once again, this is different than the inferential statistic, which says we can estimate that between this percent and this percent of all adults feel this way. So that between 58% and 64% of all U.S. adults feel this way is inferential because it's making an inference about what could happen with the population. Now, once again, I want to be really clear that we might not have both of them. For instance, if we looked at just the first sentence, we could have descriptive and not inferential. If we had just the second sentence, we could have inferential and not descriptive.